This is CRUNR. I'm at the Freewheeler House, and this is my element.
Welcome to the first episode of Element, a new series produced by DBLCIN and brought to you by the fellows at College Beats. So CRUNR, how are we doing today?
Good, man. How are you?
I'm doing great. So tell us a little bit about where we're at right now.
We're at the Freewheeler House. This is where I do a lot of my work with my managers.
Your managers are Freewheeler also, right?
Yeah.
And this room we're in right now, you've done some work in this specific room. You actually recorded your single Distraction in this room, and that actually features Jay from Freewheeler.
Yes.
It features Kiana, who's a Columbus artist.
Correct.
And it also features John Schuyler from right here in Cincinnati.
Yes.
That's the first single we've got. We also got Rewind at the end of last year. But other than those singles, everything else you've released up until now is a standalone. What
Correct.
do you want your listener to get out of your debut project, the outcome that they may not have gotten on the previous singles?
I kind of want them to see and feel who I am as a person. The other songs might have a glimpse of who I am, but this project as a whole kind of explains like a relationship that I've been through in the past.
Is this one specific relationship, or is this maybe experiences collected over time that kind of embody honestly a theme of heartbreak that you can kind of hear behind the entire album?
Yeah, I mean, it is a theme. It's not one specific relationship. It's things that I've been through in the past with multiple relationships, but it's kind of like a culmination of everything into one kind of seamless story, I guess.
So how did you pick the artists that you had featured on the album? We've already discussed Jay, Kiana, John Schuyler. JDough Gold is also making an appearance on the album. An artist named A Major is going to appear on the album.
Yep.
And then Kiana's actually on another one.
She is.
How did you curate that guest list?
It's pretty organic. I just have been working on songs individually and got in the studio with these people. Aside from A Major, he lives in Jamaica, so that was kind of impossible for me to get there. But just working on songs with these artists, and then we kind of put a track list together, and they are the ones that ended up being a part of this project. I mean, they're all good friends of mine. I'd like to think so. But that's just kind of how it came about.
I think they complement your sound very well, and actually several of them actually appeared alongside you at Freewheeler's event, Music Meets Fashion. We were all dressed to the nines. You had, what was it, probably a dozen background dancers for your set. It was pretty...
Yeah, for the first song I came out, it was to Fade, and I had the Lavish Vixens. They're a modeling group, and they put together a routine for the song for me to come out to, which was pretty dope.
Is there anything about Cincinnati that you're trying to do with this album, or are you looking way past that and trying to jump into national recognition before gaining the respect of the city? Is that an important thing to you?
So I'm trying to look past just being stuck in Cincinnati. And it's hard because up until recently, there's not a lot of people that have hit that national spectrum. There's a few artists that have made a pretty good name for themselves, and I'd like to be one of them. I'd like to help Cincinnati out at some point and give them a platform to grow and to shine light on the other artists that are here, because there's a lot of talented artists here. And
it really is.
I'd like to help out with that movement, but I feel like, especially here, there's this stigma where you have to be kind of verified somewhere else first and then come back, and then everybody kind of accepts you, which I don't think that should be that way. But that's just how it is right now. So yeah, I'm looking to get into national recognition, I would say.
So you're looking past Cincinnati, but you're still working in Cincinnati, and there's a game that has to be played here. And In past conversations, I remember you saying that you feel like you've met everybody here already. And I like to think Cincinnati as a big, small city.
Yeah.
And I kind of feel the same way. But I'm interested to hear, do you feel like you've kind of reached the networking, you've saturated the network and you're kind of just in your own lane now, ready to...
Yes and no. There's a lot of work that has to be done on my end to get where I want to be, whether it be my music or my performances and practicing that. But I feel like there's just not as big of an audience in this city just because of how small it is. It's not that small, but I feel like the music community is very limited.
The active part of it, at least, is very limited.
Exactly. So like you have all these shows going on and it's amazing to see the support from the artists and the people that go to these shows, but there doesn't seem to be an audience outside of that pool of people. So like you go to these shows and you see the same people at each event, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but you like to see some new faces there to kind of know that you're tapping into a different market. And I think that's why a lot of artists step outside of the state first to get that audience and then come back to kind of show that they've done that, I guess.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, I feel like everyone kind of feels like the market's a little limited here. And you're right, it's great. We have that core of fans, which we need. We need that to build anything.
Absolutely.
It's unfortunate that a lot of the fans are also artists. Mm-hmm. Not unfortunate, but we need fans, you know?
Right.
We need fans who just love the art and aren't trying to, you know.
Yeah.
So at this point, your debut album, The Outcome, is out on all streaming services. What is The Outcome? So the outcome obviously comes after something. It's the result of something. So what happened?
So The Outcome is basically about a relationship that I've had that I jumped into, not really thinking about the things that might happen down the road. I'm just kind of having fun and enjoying myself with this individual. And then, you know, these things happen in relationships that you're not thinking about, that pop up that you're not expecting. And they're kind of like obstacles that you have to get through. And then you get to this point in the relationship where you're kind of debating on whether or not it's worth it to continue this. You know, where do you see yourself with this individual at some point? And that's kind of laid out within this album, from start to finish, kind of just like a relationship from start to finish.
CRUNR's debut album, The Outcome, is out on all streaming platforms now. Go stream it and tune into the next episode of Element.